And I'll be the first to say, I haven't always been willing to give up that time, or I haven't done as much as I should.
Right.
But what I will say is that with Jesus as my bar, I'll never be comfortable in that. I'll never be comfortable in that. I'll always feel like I need to strive to do more. And I feel like if we all have that, passion to do something, to help somebody, little by little, we can make the change that we want the politicians to make. Because they ain't aiming for that change. They aiming to get into a position and do what they need to do. Sometimes it may help us. A lot of times it may not. So what are we willing to sacrifice to see some things change around us?
Yeah, we got to stop compromising. We got to stop compromising. Liberty University, my school, I got my couple of degrees out of that school, and they allowed Trump to come there and flow, spit, talk, articulate, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, man, that's bogus, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what are you're the largest Christian university in the world, you know what I'm saying? One of the largest online universities in the world, and you functioning like that. Homeboy ain't real. So you're gonna compromise and allow this cat to come talk on your campus, but you claim to be a Christian university, so you're trying to flip the script. So we gotta just be real about it. You know what I'm saying?
And can I say one thing on the heels of that, because that's so true, and this is for anybody who wants to slam down the card of like I said, I'm not a politician or a politics expert, but you'll see people running with the guise of religion or Christianity or pro-life, and they'll want to use that to tell you that, hey, I'm your guy. I believe in the things you believe in. But one thing you always gotta watch for, the word tells us you'll know them by their fruit. And if their words don't have love in it, or their message is not coming clearly across about their love for people, if they're not considering everybody, and if love is not the major thing they running on, then you can tell right off the bat that it don't matter if they say they're pro-life, they're pro whatever else. You'll know them by their fruits. And if their fruits are rotten, then you can kind of guess that they're using that for their own benefit, as opposed to trying to strive for that bar that God wants them to strive for. So that's just saying, use that discernment also, and don't be so quick to accept people at their word, but get in your word and see what God will have you to do.
But that's the problem, though, bro. 95% of y'all, you know what I'm saying, that's being real, are going for Clinton. She's already said, I ain't for, she said it more than once.
There we go.
I'm not even for your, I'm not for your heart. I'm gonna change the law, forget your heart. So, so we just pack up, our bags, you know what I'm saying, and just go along because, because of Obama and because of his legacy. She wants to continue that legacy, and we just jump on board without even, really being like contemplating, who is this chick, man? Have you looked at her history? Trump, both of them. You know what I'm saying? So just to jump on, just for a vote, I'm talking about presidency, just for a vote to jump on the wagon. Where's the wagon taking us? What's the pathway these folks are taking us, man? Because man, they stole over $1 billion from Haiti, man. You know what I'm saying? Them folks, about 1 million plus, are still homeless. You know what I'm saying? And then they got, Jay-Z and Bay and all these other cats tripping out, man. It's just not cool, man. Both of them. The bottom line is this. I'll just be real with you. Young Paul, what would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
Hello. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In this situation,
but I think that's where the remain fearless comes in too. It's like, when I look at the political landscape, or I look at who I'm going to vote for or not, it's only a certain amount of stuff I expect them to do. I don't expect them to be, spirit-led. I don't expect them to do the things. I don't expect them to change the things that we as a community need to change.
Right.
How long have we been doing this?
Yeah.
How long has people sworn by Democrats, sworn by Republicans, and how long will we continue to do it before we see that they're not going to make the change? It's up to us. That's what I'm saying. And it's an even larger task because it's more so up to the people who have the recognition that God has given you, who have called you. So if we're not willing to step out there and stop, running around in circles, believing that this political system is going to ultimately finally find their traction and have an epiphany and solve everything for us, if we continue thinking that, then we'll continue doing the same thing. So my whole thing is, I'm going to look at what I can look at. I'm going to vote, but I'm going to still keep trusting in Jesus and not them. Yeah. If they do something good for me, thank you. If they get rid of these student loans and get Sally Mae off my phone and off my back, thank you. But if they don't, man, it's what I expected, and I'm going to continue trusting in Jesus. His plan's going to continue to unfold as it should.
Amen.
Yeah, one statement I want to make.
John, you mentioned one thing that I want to comment upon because I think it's entirely true. And that is, I'm one who really dislike the fact that 95% of us vote in one party.
Yes.
Now, I understand it. Don't get me wrong. It's difficult for me to be able to vote Republican when I look at their politics, when I look at their platform, and all of the other things that they represent. But what I dislike about 90 to 95% of us voting Democratic, they know we're going to do that so they can ignore us, particularly once they're elected.
Yeah.
And the Republicans, if they're elected, they ignore us because we didn't support them.
Yeah.
I would much rather see a 60-40 or 50-50 or
Right,
somewhere in that area.
Right.
Then we would be courted by both.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good
And I totally agree with that as well. And one of the things that I would like to see more of too is for us to just know everything about who we're voting for. You know, read about them, listen to them, stay informed, because we just should know everything about what's going on. You know, did you see the articles on Clinton? Did you know? Did you know about her foundation? Did you know about her husband's deals? You know, speaking arrangements. Did you know about Haiti? Did you know who she's connected with? And all I'm saying is okay. You know, it's pretty obvious who the best. I mean, it's obvious to me who the best person for the job is. It's obvious to me, but I'm not confused.
Right.
I'm not confused about who we're getting, and I too am not expecting the world
Yes.
to do what God said
That's correct.
that we are to do. Amen.
You know, any candidate is flawed. We have had people who were supposedly great presidents. They were also flawed.
Yeah.
Because they're human beings. They're not God. They're
Yeah.
not Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And everyone that we vote for in the future will be flawed. So,
Yep.
so I
Well,
guess when you really look at it, which one is flawed the most? Which one is, which
Well,
one?
then Beyonce have a song called what, Flawless or something?
She wasn't talking about these two.
Right.
Amen. More to come. Stay with us on SMP3. Coming up, we're going to have John with TripGear segment. So we want you to stick and stay. Brother Reed's going to hang out with us some more. Thank you, Brother Mar,
Word.
for that segment.
Yes,
and
powerful.
we've got
Appreciate
more good gospel music. Let's do a worship. Let's go into a worship experience.
Yes, sir.
Here's McDowell, William McDowell.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Is Greg gonna be okay? Do you need some counseling or something?
Yeah.
For what?
Colts went ahead and went to Green Bay, man. It happened.
They made it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
it
is
happened,
gonna.
man.
Now that's a
He's-
shock.
We might have to lay hands on him.
So I have a question.
Uh-oh.
So what if, since we're talking about the right to vote, now we die for the right to vote, to
Right.
have the right to vote.
That's right.
Not that we should vote, but to have the right to if we want to vote.
Right.
Correct, yeah.
So what if we come to a point where the two options are the Antichrist? Are we gonna vote because we have the right? Because if we found one that may be the less of the two evils, you got Satan, you got the Antichrist.
No
So-
one said that.
I'm
statement.
asking a question.
No one said that
I
statement.
didn't say they did, I asked the question.
My question is that, and I like that question. But
Thank
my
you.
my rebuttal for that is do you feel that that's a even a possibility, being that the Antichrist is one being?
Yeah, there's gonna come to a point where the Antichrist is supposed to rule.
Right,
So we're
but
gonna have
right,
to
right.
decide
So,
where
but I'm
choosing
saying
it.
like there can't be two candidates, right?
Mhm.
That can be because a house, like Jesus said, a house divided against itself can't stand.
Right.
So it can only be one Antichrist.
But like.
Or like if you're saying if he's gonna rule, that's like saying it can't be two Jesuses. You know what I'm saying? So
What Greg said the other day, man, about a month ago was powerful. We was in there talking.
Mhm.
To echo on what Ronnie is saying is, why do we even participate sometimes? The Asians, what they doing? They flowing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The Jews, you think they care? You know what I'm saying? The Koreans, you think they care? They get a couple of city council members, they cool. So we're the only ones, man. What are you talking about? We're the only ones that, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, because I vote. What I'm saying is that sometimes with that voice, we just have to make a different choice. Can you imagine? Watch this, man. If only 5% of black folks would vote for the presidency, what would happen? But they so used to getting, you know what I'm saying? That's why we tell girls don't have sex, because once the guy get it, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know,
And that's
yeah.
the reason why I brought up the anti-crisis, because we're so
right.
bent
Yeah,
on the
right.
fact that we have the right to vote, that we're gonna vote. And I'm saying when you vote, you're validating. You're saying, this is who, when I vote, I'm saying this is who I support. Well, I don't support either one of them. Now,
Right.
that don't mean I'm not gonna vote. There's other people to vote for besides presidents.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what
Right.
we don't need to, we
Right.
need to be focused on the local stuff, because they would
Yeah.
really be
Yeah.
our voice with the electoral voice.
And they're gonna have more impact on your life.
Exactly, but we're so focused
Right.
on the presidency. We're saying the lesser two evils. Well, when did, as Christians, do we say we're gonna vote for evil?
Mark, let Ronita come up to you.
Oh, no doubt.
I got
No doubt, yeah.
some video.
Okay, and Greg,
Hey.
come on in here. Greg,
I'll
okay, listen now, Ronnie and I very, I
I
agree,
feel- I
I'm
feel
agree,
it.
I'm
I
agree
feel all
with
this.
her again. Because,
No, I feel that.
yeah, I'm gonna agree with her again on that, because what happens is, I said that at the men's meeting we had. I don't think Greg was there. And I said at the men's meeting, I said when we attach ourselves to somebody, we validate them. Because if we, we talk about Obama, I have 5,000 friends. I haven't heard anybody ever say anything negative about Obama. Ever. They don't, man. So when we attach ourselves, so if you got a 12 or 13 or 14-year-old, and you attach yourself with Obama, say, yeah, he's all that. But then the kid goes to school, and the bathroom says transgender. They come on and talk to you and say, well, daddy or uncle or cousin, what's up with this, man? So you say that's your boy. I went to school. I'm going to the bathroom, and they got the same, somebody with different sex. What happened? Oh yeah, be honest with you. He told the Department of Justice to send a memo out to tell all the states and all the schools that they should change the bathrooms, man. You know what I'm saying? So we have to. What Jesus was able to do was set a standard, a bar, man. As like Pharisees, you cast a trip, and I ain't even for y'all, man. I'm here for a different reason. He set the bar. But like you said, Brother Weed, with 95% of us say this is we ain't gotta, they ain't gotta say nothing to us, man.
Right. But like to speak to that too, like, obviously I came up with Democrat
2 minutes.
was the chief, as what everybody around me voted for. But my thing is, I never got to the point where I identify myself with either or. It's like I would be willing to listen to a Republican candidate for sure if I feel like they have some real things to say or this and that. So it's just like I think there's a problem when you go absolute to the side. Absolutes are dangerous. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but I believe people should vote. I mean, but you need to be careful what you're voting for, is all I'm saying.
Right,
so,
right, no
I mean,
doubt,
I'm
no
going to
doubt.
vote because there's other things to vote for, but everybody's talking about that. I'm not going to vote
they
for
vote
evil.
for
I don't care
weed.
what level of evil it is.
So
I'm not going to vote for
marijuana
evil.
and
because
that?
I'm not for evil.
Well, if you're not gonna vote for evil, you're probably not gonna vote at all. Because if you look at all the down ballots, you see almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe
But,
to a lesser
to
degree.
where I'm more at the lesser
But it's-
degree. Yeah.
And see,
It's
my-
I'm more at the local level.
The reason why I brought that statement up is because I don't view it like that. My perception of voting for evil as opposed to voting for the best candidate is a little different.
Yes.
Because when I get into when I start calling people evil, because we're all capable of evil.
Right.
But when I start talking, somebody is pure evil. That's the impression I get when I hear that statement. Then aren't I kind of playing God?
No, I'm going by the comment though. The lesser, I think everybody keeps saying the lesser of two evils.
That's
the
what I
comment.
said.
Right.
I didn't.
But I
say-
wasn't talking to you. I asked the
don't
question.
use that.
Right. Okay. But I was referring to the question that was asked, which was the lesser of two evils. That was
Now,
it.
did one of you guys say that?
The lesser of two evils?
Did one
Yes.
of you guys say that?
Yes.
Who said that? Was that you?
I don't even
I'm
remember.
straight.
I don't know, but the
I
word
remember.
lessons of two evils came out today. If we can replay it.
Well, if anybody said anything, it was probably John. That sounds like a statement.
I was thinking
that.
that.
Sounds like a statement that he would
Okay, but he's not the only one in the world that's ever said it either. So that was the comment of
I got
where I
that from
went.
Don. Remember she said that.
Yeah, so I disagreed with that. Yeah.
I'll call the people out. He's believe it.
Yes, sir. But since we're on the politics, I'll just extend that. I have a small story. It's called Are You Listening? Are you listening? Political information whistling. Who to vote for, what for. Both criminals, like an old school candy store. Penny candy, and we all want more. Are you listening? Political information whistling. Defense suspending common, not too common sense. That is the pretense. We pretending Trump and Clinton amending. Two evils blending. We think we winning. The same story in the beginning. Are you listening? Political information whistling. Gangsters got game like Richard Nixon playing dumbing down defense, blocking common sense like Scottie Pippen. Like a pastor lying to the congregation without hesitation. Like the master, we sick. Profitable plantation. Our spiritual wisdom needs critical cultivation. Are you listening? Political information whistling. Oprah and Jay-Z and Bay. Your prophets, for profit. You with it. They got game that fit it. Your souls, they knit it. Even though the Spirit is quoting you to quit it. Blaming others, you bid on it. You smothering common sense as you sit on it. But you want me to dig it. Rappers and country acts spitting it. For these two criminals are like the lies of the Seminoles, which were the Gullah Wars. Their lies give you brain sores. They both act like they got Christ in the core. Please, you got to know more. Are you listening? Information whistling. Remember the 1965 Rights Act gave you a choice. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still your vote and it's still your voice. Are you listening? I hope everybody's okay. I didn't tell you about pillow talk today, did I?
Can I interject real quick?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to, help you out a little bit there. You said Jay-Z and Bay. I don't want the beehive to come for you. Bay should be B.
Okay.
So yeah, the beehive might come for you, man. That's her following, so I don't want them to come for you because you mispronounced her name. Man. But other than that, man, beautiful work.
I
Man.
appreciate
But he's
that.
fearless. He's
Yeah,
fearless.
yeah, he's fearless. He ain't scared of the beehive, but man, they will sting. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if they come, just let them know they're coming for a Marine.
I heard that.
Now the
That-
really
that-
good
They
guy.
said
Consequences.
they said they got a big pistol for the messenger. Man.
Yeah, there's no such thing as the next Marine.
Yes, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So that's actually just the first half, but I want to do some pleasantries, if you don't mind, Mark.
No.
Okay, I'm making sure, man.
I love listening to you.
So this is for young Christian mothers and non-Christian mothers that are single and don't. And what I want to advise you is don't allow your children or your child to sleep with you in the bed. Okay.
Okay.
This is called lines, Lines, for lives. Okay. Let your children know that you're going to get married. Okay. Let them know that your future husband will be the head of the household. Let them know that you will marry a godly man and you are not to appease them, but to appease God first. That's for the young ladies, that Christian young ladies and the ones that are not Christians. This is for the drug dealers. I want to talk to you brothers, all right?
All right.
East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. Okay, listen, man, I know, the education system is jacked. I know home life might be jacked up too. I know certain relationships may be jacked. But let me just tell you the truth, man. This is L for L. Listen, we all got problems, G. We all do. The Fed system is about flexing and perpetuating shade. So don't get caught up in it, man. Okay? Drug dealers got unique skill sets nobody talk about. They're pretty good in math, selling skills, entrepreneurship, motivation, got drive, critical thinking skills, and problem solving skills. So, you know what I'm saying? So you got some skills, but you just got to get out that trade. Get out the game to get a game. Don't feel ashamed. We all got life to blame. You are intelligent. Some of your homies want to keep you on bent. You are extraordinary skill set to cause the right explosion, the right life print. To be real, homie, that's why Jesus was sent. You feel me? Now I'm going to get back to the single black mothers real quick, all right? Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a struggle. Working hard, even praying harder. All right? But let me give you the L for L. Let me tell you the truth. Let the children know about the engagement of exercising good decisions. Tell them the truth on the holidays, you know what I'm saying? You know, tell them you ain't got all that cheese. I'm talking about money.
Right.
Tell them the truth, you know what I'm saying? Say, hey, I can't spend like I used to spend. Okay? Please concentrate more on God's empire rather than man's media empire. Tell your children the truth that you need them to not only chores, you need them to pray and praise. You need that. You need the help in that spiritual category. Don't allow a man to live with you and your children unless you're married. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, they've done research. I'm talking about secular research, and found out that marriages, it's like, I don't know, 10 to 15% of marriages usually work out when you shack up. So don't do it, all right? God, this is for the young women, most black women, white women, Latino, Asian, you know what I'm saying? God will never forsake you. Don't allow a man's money, motivation, or manipulation to deter you or discourage you. God will protect you and your children if you're homeless or if you're living at home. God does not fear man, nor should you. Girlfriends that gossip, get rid of them and find godlier women. Watch what you watch. Watch what you listen to and who you listen to. God has already provided you with the right friends, the right scriptures, the right pastor, and the right man. Black women, just remember that you have unequivocally, unquestionably, undeniably the right God. Black women, until God provides you with the right man, you are responsible. You are responsible. You are responsible for your children's souls. Feed their souls with good conversation. Feed their souls with godly thoughts. Feed their souls that's thought-provoking music and media. Have friends that you bring around your children that emulate Christ and not chaos. Provide your children with with a Christ-like male role model for your sons and daughters. Tell your children the truth. Once God provides you with a godly man, tell your children that you and that godly man will become one. And that godly man will become number two. And God is number one. The L for L, this is Lines for Life, chronicles contemplation, conceptualizations, cultivating conversations which are reflections of righteousness of a kingdom building and the foundation being Christ. Go ahead, brother.
Nice, John. And just in case you didn't know,
Yes,
John's
sir.
an educator. He's been in the school system for over 20 years. John has his own curriculum. He's currently working on his doctorate. So I really respect your perception when it comes to what you
appreciate
see, and I know that's where that comes from.
Yes, sir.
From
How
what
much I
you
owe
see
you
in the
for
school. What do you guys think?
One thing I picked out, you talked about the brothers that's the drug dealers, right? And that's a one that I kind of think about often, because it is you know that you got guys out there in tough spots.
Yes.
It's hard for them to get gainful employment, and they feel like their backs against the wall.
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned, which a lot of people don't talk about, is it does take a skill set. It takes it takes a hustler's ambition. It takes a mind to do math and keep up on numbers.
Yes, sir.
It takes some level of organization to do that. So my question to you would be is, you know how a lot of guys that come from that world, they end up being rappers, and then their content shifts to that. And so then their music talks about that, which could then possibly influence other people to get into the world that they're trying to get out of. What is your take on that? And what would you say to a young man who considers that going from a illegal hustle to a legit hustle per se? What is your viewpoint on that? Do you feel like that is a reasonable alternative to that, or what would you say? And what would be your perspective on that?
I don't want to cuss. So anyway, I'll just say
No,
this.
we get.
I know. Gregory, the gentleman over the Black on Black Network, him and I discussed that about Jay-Z. And the problem with that, Marv, is that they never disown it. They never disown it. They use it as a platform, as a pathway. So if I used to be a drug dealer back in the day. I was in the Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? So if you can, I disown it. So when people come up to me, you can't use me as an example. I'm telling you not to do it. But when you got cats like Jay-Z and like that's been in the game, that somebody say he was in it 12 or 14 years. But it's 2 points to that. To be honest with you, I mean, folks that deal crack cocaine got a whole different mentality anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because that drug can destroy you. But to the second part of it is when you got somebody like that's in the game that use that as a platform to continue to talk about their game, they're not for the community, man. I mean, they are still more destruction when they put it on the airwaves. Because I listen to what these young cats listen to, man, and it's ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's ugly. So if they really about change, then they need to talk about change in their music. Just like you talk about in your music.
Yeah.
They got to talk about it in their music, man. So when the cats listen to it, they can say, this is what he used to be like.
Yeah.
But he ain't like that no more. And that's what's not happening, bro. That's not happening.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just interested in your perspective on that, because I know you had one.
Sure.
I could tell by the content that you had one. So yeah, I
Sure.
appreciate that.
And also, Marv, I think that part of what you're talking about, that the criminal justice system has to change. Now, I'm not at all implying that a person who commits a crime should not be accountable for that crime.
Correct.
Right.
That's not the point.
Right.
But once they have been accountable for the crime, maybe what we need to do is a little bit of different than we do
Yes.
now in terms of that background of the slate being clean. So maybe that person who wants to change can get a job
That's right.
and come out and change and live a different life.
That's correct.
Now it's almost impossible.
You're right.
That's
man.
true.
It's true.
I agree.
Yo,
I
it's
agree.
real talk, baby.
And John and I both worked in the corrections field.
Yes.
I was in the field for almost 10 years working as a case manager in a reentry program. One of the first things that I noticed, and my first clients were all male. I work with both male and female. But one of the first things I noticed is you can get a lot of money to help females reenter. You can get a lot of money. You can go out and we built a new facility, beautiful facility for the women. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be that way. But when it came to trying to get funds to assist the guys, when it came to trying to get help to assist the men that were, and by the way, while I'm on this, and you'll hear me say this a lot too, there is a lot more success than what's publicized.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of seeing a lot of men change their lives and that are doing well in society right now. But when it comes to helping men, it's a lot harder to get the assistance to help guys than it is for to help women.
Why do you think that is?
Well, actually, I've got. There's several things. One is men are harder to work with.
Yeah.
That's one thing, and it is. I mean, men are harder to work with, so people kind of shy away. What's that rule of the path of least resistance?
Like current.
Yeah, like current.
Just the path of least resistance.
I wanted to touch on another point where you kind of talked about you went into the sisters and said don't let that man stay with you until you're married and this and that, and we know that that's also a bar that was set. You talk about the jaded life, that's kind of a bar that Jesus sets, and so I really felt that because I know that in our, especially in the black community,
Right.
I mean this can go for male or female,
Right.
but you know, a lot of the rhetoric is against each other. It's like these females ain't loyal, or these men ain't nothing, and this and that. But I just wanted to throw this out there that the jaded life would have you to understand that your power's in your purity. And that's whether you're a male or a female.
Sure.
Because if you're not,
Well,
you know, you're not willing to, if a person is not willing to stick it out for you, for at your soul level,
That's right, man.
without ever
That's right.
experiencing your body,
That's right.
that's a natural filtering system that God gave
That's
you.
right.
As a young lady, if your power's in your purity, that's a filtering system. You would never have to say these men ain't nothing if you made them hold out until they gave that ring on your finger and walked you down the aisle. And because that's a filtering system, is it not?
Yes.
Because now at the first sign that they about to go out the door, or they want to force you to do something,
That's right.
filter them on out. You know, it's like a Brita picture. You filter them on out there. And then for the young men, you know, if you want a young lady with the head on the shoulders, then you need to be that leader in that purity. So even if she wants to go there, then it's your job to stand on, hey, we're going to do this the right way. Now, am I saying that I always did it that way? That's not what I'm saying. Don't hear me say that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the things that God took me through, I know that His word is true. And He's built a filtering system in. So if you're not willing to use that filtering system, then don't point the fingers at the other people. We have to point it right in the mirror at
That's
ourselves.
it. That's it.
He's not preaching.
That's right.
He's just
Pretty close.
Well, we're gonna
You feel me?
go into the last segment of the show.
Yes,
This is the interview time with Brother Reed.
Yes, sir.
Brother Reed,
Yes, sir.
thanks for coming to hang out. What do you think so far, Brother Reed?
He's great.
It's great.
Yeah, from what I heard so far. I like the conversation. And hopefully people are listening, paying attention.
All right. Brother Reed, a couple other things. You're retired, right?
Yes, sir.
How many years at Raytheon?
Almost 30. Well, at Raytheon, 10.
Okay.
But the Department of Defense was almost 30.
Almost 30 years. And I heard it said, and you tell me whether it's true. I heard it said though that you graduated college like at 12 or something like that.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I did enter college at 16.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
graduated college, well, let's put it like this. Technically, I graduated college when I was 21. I was finished with all the engineering requirements at 20.
Okay.
But I didn't actually graduate until 21 because I took other special courses.
Okay.
Okay.
So I didn't have any engineering courses to take. I'd already taken those, but I didn't technically march until I was 21.
Okay. All right. So it'd be safe to say that you're pretty academically smart guy, right?
I'd put it academic. You know, that was my background. It was ingrained in me as a child, all of my family and people, friends, community. I grew up in a small rural community, but that community ingrained that in me. And my mother and grandmother certainly did.
So that's unique. I hear that statement from our European brothers and sisters, really the brothers when I'm in the gym, and said they had no other choice. But I very rarely heard it from an African American. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I can tell you this. I have known all of my life I was going to college. I mean, there's never been a time that I was